Hi guys, this is Abdurrahman Gilal, and in this video I'll give you a brief explanation about PHP language. So what I mean from PHP language is a hypertext preprocessor language. Our personal home pages, previously it was known like that. So you know that in order to make a dynamic websites or web application, you need to have some, server scripting languages. So one of the languages that is PHP. It's a very strong language. About 75% of the whole world's websites have been developed on that PHP. I have taken it from some Google reference. I'm not sure if the reference is right or wrong, but there are so many websites such as Facebook, Google, they've been using PHP as one of the main languages for their development. So how PHP looks like, how it works, I have given you a brief understanding about that in my previous video, but I'm just gonna tell you that how loosely, what I mean loosely, I'll explain you a bit later, how strong it is if you're using it. So it's very, highly integratable language, which if you're working with HTML or other languages, it's really, really fun to learn about that. So as we always start, the first program that we write is called Hello World. So let me write Hello World. So the first thing is that we have to write echo and we should write Hello World. So let me write this echo in hello world. So what happens basically if you wanted to write all in one how to say row or line, it's okay. If you wanted to break it down into small, it's all okay, as long as you have all the details of the code are correct. So let me write this index1.php. I already got index here, so I've got index1.php here. So let me just write index one here. I have already started my server, so that's okay. So I have so many ways by which I wanted to make my heading or my content look bigger. So one of the ways is that you use, I'm sorry about that. Your HTML takes there, and then everything that's coming here will then be, uh, printed in heading one. So let me save it and run it. So you see it's all okay. So now here. With Echo, we can print out strings, we can print out variables or any specific kind of formats. So let me tell you that usually in some programming languages, double quotation, such as in Java, means it's a string, single quotation means it's a character, but here is like very, very flexible that you don't have to worry if you have given a single quote, it is still considered a string. It will automatically understand that you're passing it a string or a character. So there will be definitely some more flexibility into it. For example, I'm writing my variable. So first name is my first variable, and that means I am writing Abdul Rahman is my first variable, right? So and then I'm writing my last name, and then I am writing in single quotation, I'm writing the last. So you see here, I have a double quotation with first name and a single quotation in the last name. But when you try to print out, let's say you'd say dollar first name, and sorry, not this, first name, and then you do concatenation with this dot operator, and then you say dot and then you say dollar $L like last name. So what I mean is that print the first name and then give a space and then print the last name. So you save it and you run it, you see there's no problem at all. So it means that if you have single quotation, that's okay because that's what I'm saying loosely type, which means you do not have to explicitly tell to the interpreter of this language that you are using a string or using numerics or anything. It automatically understands the need and it just transfers the type as per the values of it. You just have to remember that you should use the name of the variable with the dollar sign. Is one of the things, one is another strong thing is that if you wanted to make like this, that you have a full name and then you have this all the expressions that you got, let's say, then you just keep it and then you write full name. So you see, you don't have to worry. Control S, which means save, and then you refresh. So no problem at all. You got this whole name, and then you got this, uh, you know, sorry about that. You got this full name plus you got this, concatenated is stored into one thing. So you see, you can store, you can print all together as well. You don't have to print it separately. So it's all okay in PHP. Okay, so this is one of the things. Another things that if you wanted to apply some, logical stuff, such as you wanted to apply some age checking, for example, who can use my website? Let's say if your age is about eight, like let's say 20 right now. So I'm gonna check if your age is dollar age, sorry, dollar age is greater than 18, then only you can use my website, otherwise you can't use it. So you're gonna say like this, echo, welcome to my website. And then if you wanted to put your variables within the double quotes, that's okay. Because PHP automatically picks up, but it's a little bit challenging if you wanted to add two different two numerics in order to see the results. Like you have two values like one and two, you wanted to add them into double quotation, then it's not gonna work. It's like because it just prints it out. So that's why this is just a name, so it will be okay to be printed without any specific calling. So you see here, and then I can use else here, I can print out echo, sorry, and then you put this full name. Let's say uh, you are not you are not allowed to, sorry about that spells, allowed to use my website. So right, so you save it, you run it. So mhm, in order to concatenate, sorry, comment your code, it's very easy. You just have to bring this double quotation, sorry, this uh, you know / twice, and it's fine. So the thing is that when I'm trying to write my full name, so here you see I have already commented my full name, so it's not being printed here. So in order to remove this, better you don't echo it, but just save it so your variable is alive. Now you see you have Abdurrahman, and then if you think that you wanted to see whether your website is visible to him or not, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Sorry. So you see that you can use if statement exactly the same way that if you wanted to use for loop or some other loops like you have been using in Java. So what's the way? Let me just quickly come here and I stop PHP from here. And I use my PHP here. I can use capital. So you see here, I use PHP as capital. And then I use for loop, and then I can use any of the variables starting from 0, 1, it's up to me, and I make it 5 or whatever I want, and then I want it to echo dollar full name, and then here I can make, let's say, break row. Sorry about that. Which means I wanted to see my name 5 times, but I wanted to see it every time on the next, sorry, here, because $I is a variable name, so you cannot make it uh, you know different, like if the capital I will be having a different meaning as a variable. So hope you understand about that. So let's say you run that and you see you got this Abdul 1, Abdurrahman 2, and this and all. So you, I hope it makes some sense. Why am I saying it? Because you see here, I am using different PHP part of code here. I am using for loop in caps, or let me write like this. That's okay. PHP doesn't care if your for loop is capital or if your for loop is small. Unlike in Java, you have to make sure that they are case sensitive. So this one is partially case sensitive. What I mean is that if you declare the variables, you have to be careful with that. So this is one way, and then you have already learned you can do the switch exactly in the same way. Let me quickly tell you that how can you make your variable, sorry, your methods or functions here. So in order to write the functions, what you usually do is you know, you write the keyword called function, then you can use anything like here. So let me not make it like this. This is better. So now this method, sorry, this function usually will receive an argument, and that will store in a variable called name, and it will just print out. So So let's say if I am making another PHP here, and then I am calling the method call, sorry, function call greet, and I'm passing Abdul to it. So let's see what happens. So when I run that, you see Abdul is coming here. So it's basically from, I can say, from function called greet. So here is the thing. If you wanted to, if you wanted to just print it out like this. So here is a thing that you save it and you run it. So you should know that this is coming from a function. So I think this is quite a lot about the fundamental of PHP. I wanted to just tell you the strength of PHP, that if you use strings in single quotation or double quotation, it's all okay. If you wanted to use variables, and if you wanted to use functions in capital or small, it doesn't care. As long as you have a logic, as long as you have followed the basic standards of the PHP, it's really fast and it's really useful language in order to make the dynamic websites. In the next videos, I'll be explaining you that how you can send the data from one web page to another web page, another web page to another web page, how you can interact with between the pages. So I will explain you the differences between static and dynamic websites. So stay tuned and do let me know if you got any confusion, any questions. I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you so much, guys.